Post Apocalyptic the Show.
Wow, this is
it.
The upgrade.
From the podcast to the show.
Yes.
First episode, so we probably won't always introduce it based on the podcast, but you know, that's what we do.
Absolutely.
So because it's based, we're sort of moving from podcast to this, our first movie is going to be a Mark Polonia. Wait, no.
Polonia?
Polonia.
Yeah.
Mark Polonia.
Yes.
Called Amityville Island.
Film veteran.
Film veteran. 50 movie credits, 60 movie credits.
Yeah, I mean,
so
a body of work that stand the test of time, I'm sure.
But all joking aside, he makes films, and they're available to watch.
He does.
More so than anything. So, go to my notes. Amityville Island, writer John Oak Dalton.
Yes.
Also done Scarecrow County and Jurassic Prey. I know we watched Jurassic Prey, I think, in the office.
I think so, yes.
Shot in Wellsboro, Pennsylvania.
Of course.
Of course, got to keep it
Hollywood
local.
of the East.
Hollywood of the East, I like that.
Yeah.
I like that a lot. All right. So Amityville Island. What's it about, John?
Well, I mean, the log line, this is a woman gets possessed and, commits a crime and is sent off to a prison and ends up on an island where there's a secret women's prison.
Right.
As a logline, it wasn't, as a quote-unquote B movie, if you want to call it that, it's not bad. It's like, all of these things are like the poster, everything.
Yeah.
There's a shark in the poster.
Right.
But,
that's the thing. I love these films for what they are. The fact that somebody is just making films the way kids used to make them, like, and invoke Spielberg. Like, he was making Super 8 movies as a kid.
Right.
But none of these people had an outlet for them. Like, you showed your friends and your family, and then maybe you became Spielberg. But now you can make these films and then get them out there. Like, we're watching it on Amazon Prime, and I know there's other outlets like Tubi and something else.
Pluto or whatever it is.
Pluto, yeah. So there's an outlet for someone to see your film now. So
yeah.
So on the top level, congratulations, you made a film.
It's definitely an achievement. Not only has he made all these films, has a deal with, I guess, Wild Eye Releasing.
Yes, it's a Wild Eye Releasing production, which the minute you see that pop up on the screen, you know you're in for a treat.
Yeah, exactly.
All their movies are roughly the same vibe, the same feel, but you see it and you're just like, all right, I know what I'm in for.
It is what it is. They know what they are. They're going to produce something in and around the same level of quality and similar content, and they have an audience. So it's that business model that it works for them. And he's managed to do that, and I'm sure they have all the shortcuts to getting in on Amazon Prime and all that. So it sort of strikes me as he's a teacher, professor.
Yes.
I know it strikes me as these movies as a hobby.
Yeah.
That he's able to get his friends and shoot stuff. So kudos to him for doing that, being able to sustain it and maintain it.
Right.
The movies themselves, depending on what your mood is that day, you may or may not be ready for it. But
and they're 70 minutes.
Yeah.
So
they're never going to be over long or anything like that.
Yeah, you're not going into it as The Irishman. You're not going into a Snyder cut of 4 hours or anything
You're
like that.
not like, okay, let me take a week, let me take off of work, and then I'll dive into this thing.
Thank God there's a pandemic, I can finish The Irishman, As this movie goes, because we've seen a lot of, Mark movies and everything, this one, and this is one of those things I'll ask you, John, USC film student, with this film, is it the writing that hindered it more than anything else? Because I was scribbling notes as I was watching it. It's a little all over the map. And these movies kind of are a little bit all over the map because you have a lot of ideas and you're just trying to put them all out there. Because, it's like, hey, we can do whatever we want. As we get in, we have our lead character who I actually had to look it up because I don't even know if they ever mentioned her name, Kelly.
Okay.
She's driving to Amityville.
Yeah.
Because you see the house, but she doesn't go to the house. I think she goes to the yard sale at the house.
She goes to the yard sale that's put on by the realtor. Which is strange, but the realtor's strange.
The realtor's strange, and then she buys all the clothes because she has kids, I'm guessing, which is sort of alluded to later.
The kids are in daycare.
Right.
Naturally, all 4 kids are in daycare.
Oh, there were 4. I missed that.
Yeah, 4 kids.
That's why John, USC grad, right over there.
I had to go back. I'm like, so where were the kids?
Right.
During this whole thing, and so I went back, and then she mentioned, she had 4 kids. She just took all of the yard sale stuff. Just didn't really go through it. Just said, I'll just take all of this. I guess she had nothing.
Yeah.
I don't know. The kids, she's just moved, but somehow the kids she found a daycare for the 4 kids.
Right. And it seemed like she was driving to her new destination, but yet maybe was just driving through town.
That's what it seemed like.
Yeah.
It was a yard sale maybe on the way. And then she made a comment saying, "Oh, I wish I knew this house was for sale before I moved."
Yeah. So that had nothing.
But that wasn't. But
yeah, there's the stock shot of the house with the for sale sign. You're like, okay, great. I don't know how the island part will play into it later, but we're in Amityville. I get it.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen the whole thing, and I've rewound a few times,
right?
Because it was like, okay, where are we?
Yeah.
I still don't know how the island plays into it, but I'm sure upon several more viewings, I will get a feel of
two more hours of viewing. Yeah. So then it starts taking the turn. So she buys all her stuff from the garage sale.
Right.
Then the realtor walks behind the house and tells someone, "I did everything you asked," right. And then she shoots herself.
You're right.
And that's it. We don't go back to the house. We don't explain anything. That's where we are. Then the only thing you sort of get a clue, she gets to the house, the lead, Kelly, and she starts going through stuff and goes, "Hey, I don't remember grabbing this doll." And it's like, well, I don't know how you would remember because you just literally threw everything in a box, but that's just me. And then she gets possessed. So correct. We're alluding that the whole point of the garage sale was to pass the doll on to someone, I guess.
And I think that doll, I could go with the fact that it's just happened to be, that particular house or whatever,
yeah.
Or those things were possessed and sort of transferred from that doll to her.
Yeah.
In something like this, I'm like, okay, we need to find a way for it to transfer to her. That's fine. The whole setup of the realtor and the yard sale and that, having her shoot herself. I mean, I don't know what that whole thing was about.
Because it felt like that was part of another movie we didn't see.
Yeah.
Because I was trying to remember it. Like, when you start something and then you get jarred into that situation, you're like, well, maybe I did zone out or look at my phone for a second. Did I miss a previous scene? And then you go back 2 minutes going, I didn't miss a previous scene. This was just the way it was. Because, once again, it's always easier in hindsight to fix anything. You could have just had the lady give the doll to a daughter. Oh, here you go. I'm just giving this to you. And then you could pass on the possession or something. But ultimately, the possession has really nothing to do with the movie. Because I don't even understand the rules of the possession.
There really are no rules. And I was thinking about that when I watched it. Like, what are the rules? She seemed to be able to, or whatever's possessing her seemed to be able to do anything. To be fire starter, to be...
possess a bear?
Possess a bear, to sort of...
Shark?
Shark?
Yeah, that's where the shark came in.
Wherever things are,
yeah.
And wherever she is, doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
She can just possess like something miles away.
But it doesn't seem like she could control it. Someone did me wrong. I'm going to possess that bear that's over here and have that bear kill that guy.
Like, yeah, it definitely had a quote unquote mind of its own, for
Yeah.
sure. You know, from the beginning, I guess that was consistent. You know, that she...
The inconsistency was the consistency of the movie.
From the yard sale, she goes to pick up her kids.
Right.
Because, again, too, I'm like, wait, these kids you allude to, like, where are the kids? So she picks up the kids off screen.
Yeah.
They're in the house somewhere still off screen. She's in the kitchen rummaging through the bounty she just got. And the kids are just somewhere in the house. Yeah. And so she gets possessed by the doll.
Right, she looks at it and her eyes light up.
Yeah. Yeah. And now she's got to go and we see the vision of some sort of devil guy. And then she goes and kills the kids.
Which we don't really even know that until a later... there's so many things.
We don't know that.
You find out later when she's in prison and then she has to girl fight in an underground fight. Okay, there's a lot happens. Like I said, there's so many things thrown into this script that on a whole little things could have, stringed together. We find out in a comment, it's like, oh, you're the crazy person that killed your kids. Ah.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what happened off screen that we didn't see. So that was the next beat, right? So she gets possessed and then we're in prison? Was that it? Was that the next... Well, at some point...
She gets possessed and then she kills her kids. Then we go to the prison. We can assume that trial and all that stuff happened.
That's boring stuff. You don't want the legal stuff. You just want to get right to the meat of the story.
Go to prison. Yeah. And she's in prison for killing... She kills 4 kids. She's got to go.
She's got to go to prison.
It's conceivable that she's there. So I'm like, okay, I'm with you. And then we go to the underground
fight scene.
Fight scene in a prison, but it's obviously someone's basement or... And
there was some weird dialogue in that where I guess they make money live streaming women prisoners fighting, but yet they're using a camcorder and then they edit it later. So they mentioned live streaming and I'm like, I don't think what live streaming is because you can't live stream from a camcorder and then go edit the footage later to then send it. But once again, you watch these movies and you just sort of, you forgive. It's only in like retrospect you really think about the movies. You're sort of watching and going, of course they're going to girl fight. I mean that's what you do. And then you go to the next beat and you're like, well, of course they're in a regular Jeep car being transported to another prison. I mean, that's kind of what you do.
It's sure.
Yeah.
And the director himself makes an appearance in the girl fight scene.
Yes, the director, Mark, makes the appearance. He is ringleader because there's the 2 guards.
Shotgun mic that
that
he was uses for the camera.
Yeah.
But he uses that as he
announces, which the camera isn't on him.
No.
When he announces. There were choices. There were a lot of choices made in this film. So then there's the 2 women that fight. I actually wrote down the other character's name she's fighting. Well, the lead is Jamie Morgan as Kelly, Renata, Danielle Donahue.
Right, so, I need the Renata from the credits.
Yes.
That's how I do that.
So they're fighting, they're trying to get the fight, and they're talking about how it's boring because for some reason, the other story point that you just sort of allude to is Kelly's always in a catatonic state.
Yeah. I mean, from in the car when she's talking to her mom about the tragic passing of her husband in Iraq, which it never comes back. She in her exchange with the realtor, she's seems to be sane and normal, and then from that possession, she's just sort of like, catatonic throughout the rest of the movie, and it's just
except then she's getting egged on by Renata, and then she attacks her, in the fight thing, because all of a sudden she sort of wakes up. They get into a fight, then they're both pulled off of each other for reasons, and then they're thrown into an office. Remember they're like thrown into the office and there's baskets by the window? It was just really funny because it looked like just like an empty room, and there was like just like regular baskets by the window, and I was like, I don't think this is an official government building. But once again, I will forgive all that because they're just making a movie, and it should be about the story. Because like when they go to the prison basement, I don't know, it just looked like a basement. There's like some wood planks and stuff.
There's,
and I'm like,
there's stuff there that you go, okay, it's someone's basement, someone's like personal effects are around, and you're like, okay.
Yeah.
But like you said,
someone's just working there. Hey, you guys shooting a movie? And you're like, oh, yeah, just leave it in. It's fine.
Like grandma's in the background just walking by.
Oh, am I in the shot?
Yeah.
It starts like cooking.
Yeah, I mean, they had a deal where, the winner gets to stay in her cell.
Right.
And the loser gets to go someplace where you don't want to go.
Oh, right.
I guess the cell is a place you do want to go. But and then Mark, the ring announcer, says, we'll throw them both, to the island or wherever. It's like, wait a minute, So they're both these two guys. One I think has probably the best lines in the movie. One in particular, in the car, was not bad.
Which was?
Which was, Kelly.
Yeah.
When. Okay, let's move on.
Let's paint the picture.
Let's move on because I'm going to go forward and, when we get there. Then I'll say it.
And then, I think before we get to the Jeep that takes us to
that's where
the island, we have a sub-story. There's a B-plot, everyone.
Who knew?
Titus Himmelberger, who we've seen in a few of the films. I love Titus. He usually has this beard that's like amazing beard. No beard. I don't know if he was an ex-husband or a reporter. I was kind of confused on his storyline because he's trying to get information on Kelly.
Yeah.
Or Renata. I don't know. It's kind of vague.
That whole thing I just couldn't make sense of.
But my favorite part, so we cut back and forth a couple times of him drinking and calling the prison. He has 2 bottles of liquor. Mm-hmm. One is Amityville rum.
Yeah.
And the other one was
bourbon.
Both like a sticker. It almost looked like blue masking tape with the words Amityville rum on it.
Right.
And it was like, why? That was a choice. I'll forgive anything. I'll forgive shooting in a basement, transporting prisoners in a Jeep Cherokee or whatever. There's a lot of those little things. But that's one of those details where it's like, did you need it? It was such a weird choice.
Yeah, and the answer is no. but it's just...
Hold on. No.
It's just so distracting, just to see this nondescript glass bottle with this brown liquid.
Yeah.
It's obviously not alcohol. And just, I don't know if they printed it out maybe on, inkjet or whatever. It was
it was just like a cut orange sticker that was just...
It was just like, why does he have to be drinking, the proprietary, the local... hooch, and it's just like...
They should have just had a bottle with 3 X's on it.
I would have been
like, all right, I'm down for that because it's just weird.
Yeah, exactly.
I guess it was just to remind us that we were still part of the Amity universe, cinematic universe.
And so that house that he came... Was that the house that Kelly had, or...
I don't, I am not 100% sure because I never knew who he was. Yeah. We just kind of cut back to him trying to get answers to something, but he never played a role, and then halfway through, 30 minutes, we didn't see him anymore. So he just kind of went away.
Right.
So that was I guess we can get the Snyder cut on that. Maybe there's a 4-hour version or something.
Wait.
Okay, so... We find out later they're going to go to an island. And I'm trying to see that. Hold on. I actually wrote, too much happens. I don't know why I just wrote that. Too much happens. Basement fighting. So we get in the Jeep. They're going to get sent to the island. It's the 2 cops and 2 girls. The 2 guards.
Right.
Because this women's prison has, 2 guards.
2 guards and I guess 2 prisoners.
And 2 prisoners because we didn't see anyone else. They're in their Jeep Cherokee or whatever it was. And then at some point they have to stop, which I don't remember the reason why they stopped. Maybe she had to go to the bathroom or something.
Yeah, I mean they stopped because the guard that actually talked.
We gotta pay those SAG after,
He was talking about was talking to Renata about the rape or something.
Oh yeah.
She wanted it, and so she was getting angry, and so she reached over and like choked him out.
Right.
And so he had to swerve.
Right.
The car. And then she was like getting out of the car at that point, and turned to Kelly and was like, "Run!
Yeah.
What do you do? Just run! Come on!" Now they're friends.
Yeah.
And so she starts running, and the guy, the guard that was teasing her about the rape, chased her.
Yeah.
But like when he got her and brought her back, he says, Kelly's, says something, and he was like, "Oh, I didn't realize until now you could even talk. So shut up." And that was just
It was good.
It was just like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
The guy's trying, he's trying.
Yeah.
And you! I wasn't for sure you could even talk. But now that you are, shut up! Get it!
And, I mean, the rest of it is not great, but he was at least trying.
Yeah, some people try, because then then they finally get to the boat to take them to the island, which you never really get a shot of an island. You just sort of go to a boat. You go to a boat. Once again, forgivable. You're using what you have. You have a friend that has a boat. You have a boat.
There it is.
That's all it is. And
it's the Robert Rodriguez.
Exactly.
They're exactly sort of the same filmmaker, I think, right?
Yeah.
He had a bus and a ranch he could use, and he made a mariachi.
Yeah, it's exactly the same
so
thing.
He probably read his book and
went, look, my friend has a boat.
Right.
We need to get to an island. And then, and I think before we get to the island, I think I had a note too, was that all of a sudden there was a zombie. Do you remember that? Like all of a sudden just walking in the woods.
Yeah.
And you're like, huh. I wrote a note, zombie? That might have been when I wrote, this has everything.
Right.
And then we cut away and we don't see the zombie again. Spoilers till the end.
A lot of spoilers.
We get a lot of spoilers. We get to the girls get to the island. Then the guy who drops them off on the boat starts taking the boat back. Kelly then possesses the shark that eats the boat captain.
And that's where the shark comes in, and that's where I'm like, oh, okay, it's the shark. So what is the shark's role in?
Yeah, that was it.
That was it.
I was like, oh, okay, we're gonna get to the island. The island's surrounded by sharks. I was starting to build this movie up here, and then I went, oh, that's it. Okay, but then we get to the best part of the movie. Jeff Kirkendall.
Yeah.
And James Carolius. Like I said, it's
sure. James.
James.
I mean, these guys are staples. These guys are in everything. He's not gonna. I guess he's not the writer, but they're not gonna. He's gonna make sure they're parts. For these guys. So,
They're not always the star. Sometimes they are, but they're in it. They're your meat of the movie. So James and Kirk play doctors. We find out that they've been doing experiments. The whole thing for this island is they're trying to create the perfect soldier, maybe the perfect human.
Right.
We never really say
the perfect soldier has been mentioned,
right?
But also the perfect human. So
yeah, and then Kelly touches the computer, and Jeff Kirkendall's like, "Don't touch that thing." Then, like 2 minutes later, we cut to Mark, the ringleader announcement of the women fighting, is editing, And then he sees Kelly come up on the screen, her eyes shine, and then lightning bolts come out.
Right, that's it.
The lightning bolts come out and fry him.
And those lightning bolts. Oh, yes.
Yeah, because it wasn't out of the computer, it was just across the screen.
Those were special. Those lightning bolts.
So somehow the possession can go to animals if you wanted to, can go through a computer if you wanted to. There's no rules.
No rules. It can do whatever it wants. It can sort of behave in whatever kind of patterns it that makes sense.
Yeah.
To whatever. I mean, I don't know. I mean, you sort of. I mean, look. You watch a movie like this. You have fun with it, and you're not expecting ILM effects, but just some sort of consistency with certain rules. I mean, you take this movie, but you take any of these movies,
right,
regardless of quality.
Yeah.
Even the highest quality, like you have to set those rules in the beginning, and that's what a lot of filmmakers, especially on sort of this level, they don't do.
Yeah.
And it's something that's not necessarily look, he's getting this movie done in 6 days and putting it out. I get it.
And we all watched it on our TVs with a click of a button.
Right.
So the level of what we expect and what should be done sort of goes out the window a little bit, because this wouldn't happen back in the day because you didn't have the outlet. You wouldn't just get this movie made and have it in the theaters. There's just too many more steps and too many people. He can go, hey, let's make a movie. They can make a movie, and that movie gets released.
Yeah.
So.
No, absolutely. There's something to that. And it's not exactly an easy thing to do, to have these rules, because there's certain things that you want to set up, there's certain things that you want to see.
Right.
And oftentimes when you do that, and you try to apply these rules that you set up, it doesn't work.
Right.
So you try to just fudge the rules a little bit, and you can't. What was that movie we saw? It was like a birthday horror movie, maybe.
Wish Upon.
Yeah,
that one?
I think so. And it was like the rules were...
she had the box. She could get something, but then something would happen. It's sort of monkey paw-ish.
Yeah.
But there was no rhyme or reason to what happened. So it wasn't like the first one was. She wished for something like her friend had, but then her friend got hurt. And you're like, oh, okay, so anything you would... Then the next one's had nothing to do with it. Like, she wished for something, then her neighbor died, and it's like, she didn't even know the neighbor. They were new in town.
Yeah.
And then Ryan Phillippe's playing the saxophone for all of his friends. Remember that?
Yeah.
That was really weird.
That was, I do remember that now.
It was amazing. But that was like theatrical. I mean, they spent time on that.
Right.
And I
Time
think,
and money,
but once again, that movie fell flat because of the rules. There was no rhyme or reason with this box and with the rules. Because honestly, it's like, hey, you might be able to get $10 million, but some rando person may die. Okay. I don't see any consequences with that. It just happened to be her neighbor who she didn't know because they just moved into town. It was like, that old lady died. Oh. Okay.
She was old.
Yeah, so that would have helped this a little bit was... Exactly, she's old. Heartless John. No, so that was it. It's just like, this I think would have helped with the rules because, she possesses through a computer. Then we find out through video footage that they've been experimenting on one person that kind of worked.
Yeah.
But then that's sort of like, okay, so it worked and they're trying to like recreate. And I think what it is they're trying to find the perfect host to maybe have the baby. I don't know.
Well, I think, I think
because that ultimately played into the end because they end up escaping just somehow, getting outside. Then we see the zombies again. And you're like, oh, the zombies.
We're back. Yes. The zombies we saw before, we didn't know how they would play into the whole narrative.
Yeah.
But we yeah, it's just they come back in grand fashion in the third act of the movie.
Which then, in like retrospect, you think about it. If the experiments didn't work, okay. So before I get onto that tangent, so the zombies are there. Jeff Kirkendall, he goes out with his gun. He's gonna try to track down our two leads. Then he sees said zombie and went, "Oh, number 3," you know, or whatever.
Yeah,
the number was.
It was a number.
Yeah,
and it was just like you are perfect. No matter what happened, you are perfect, and you know, it's just sort of enamored of her zombie or
ish.
Yeah,
and then ends up killing Kirkendall. But then that was one I was going to say was that it seems like if the experiment didn't work on these prisoners, you would just destroy the body. Where they just like, it didn't kind of work. Just let them go roam the woods because there was multiples. Like, it didn't work. Yeah, just let them loose into the woods.
Did they
not know they were dead?
They didn't like escape or anything, did they?
I don't know because it seemed like, oh, there you are. Like, did you not keep track?
That's true. It was a sort of a casual.
Yeah,
it's like, oh, numbers. So
that's where you are, and starts making a phone call or something. So that's how we get rid of Jeff, and then the girls get off the island. Yes, they run down to the coast. Cut to 9 months later, I'm guessing, because we see a house. We hear a scream. It's snowing, so time has passed.
Yeah.
The main Renata runs up to the house, and then we see Kelly, who's pregnant, and so we're just like, oh, okay, she got pregnant. I guess the experiment worked. What was it? What happened after that? It was so she runs up into the house.
Oh, at the end, she sees her pregnant. I mean, sees her about to have the baby,
right?
And I think she wants her to do something, or maybe go to the hospital.
Yeah.
And she's like, I'm gonna have this baby right now. And then there's a thing. She opens up, the legs. We could see. I only say that just because I could see the pants that she has on.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, well, we're gonna deliver the baby through pants.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the new thing. And so I guess she's like a midwife doctor right now. So she takes out, she delivers the baby, and they flash like either it's the demon baby or that same guy or something where we know.
Oh right, the guy in the red mask. Yeah.
Other like. Not even the red guy in red, but there's another sort of like demon that's obviously a mask.
Yeah.
And 19 sort of 80s plug-in where you go, okay, this needs to be updated, guys. And sort of creepy music, and then we cut the credits.
Right, and it's like flash of red, flash of faces, credits.
Yeah.
For the second time, because it's the same credit bed.
Right, and I think we go into to Kelly, down to the baby, and then it's like, and then it's like
jump scare, and it's like, oh my god, we're gonna have a part 2. Oh my god, the Amityville multiverse.
Right, is it gonna be an island? Is it gonna be?
Yeah. So that's the movie in a nutshell.
What was the line where he was like, I think it was Ormond said something to Tyler about, catch him or get him, but stay away from the vagina this time. It's just that line was just.
I kind of remember that. It was
aim away from the vagina for once.
It was just sort of like you're watching, going, "Wait, what?" You sort of rewind.
It's
like they get escaped.
That one was.
Yeah, there's always those like good little one-liners because you're just like, wait, what?
Yeah,
because you start sort of like mentally checking out a little bit when you start watching it. You're just like, okay, I know what I'm in. Wait, what? It's like the wake-up line.
Yeah, I was like, do we need that one? But okay.
But so with something like this, these movies are what they are. Wild Eye Releasing, love them. They're great. But what is this, like, this one just came down to, as always they do, is story. Like, that was the biggest issue, is like, I had no idea where we were going, and literally just felt like, well, Amityville, that's always a good storyline, and what if we were on an island?
Right.
Like, I mean, that literally was just a hodgepodge of things. It's like, what if possessions? That's pretty good. Experiments? Hells yeah. You know, just felt women's prison? Yeah. Like, it just felt like idea after idea after idea. That's why in my notes I was like, just too much happens.
Yeah.
Like, you have 60 minutes, you have 70 minutes to make this movie, not to make it, watch it, or a finished product. I don't think you need that much. They're just throwing stuff, because then you're just like, what happened to the guy that was drinking Amityville rum? Oh, we don't care anymore. Like, I just feel like
that. You know, I mean, he was she Kelly? Didn't she do something where he got killed because he was?
No, we never see anything. Like, we never. Like,
died in a car.
Well, he did in another. No, he didn't in another one. No, because he was in the car in the beginning. Then he was just behind the table the whole time.
He was behind the table, but then I thought he went out after he, you know, he's getting pushed back from the magazine.
Yeah.
You know, that's what it's called, the magazine.
The magazine.
Hey, this is the front desk at the magazine.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm looking for answers. Do you think that's a good thing if you get used to your time right now? You know, this whole, like, okay, let's stop this thing. But then I thought he, like, went out to look for answers and was possessed from Kelly.
Yeah.
And then, like, got in a car accident, I thought.
I don't remember.
Maybe.
I just remember, I think I just focused on the bottles that just said
The bottles just,
Yeah.
After you focus on those.
You're like, I don't know what else to do. But I mean, like, you can't, like, really just, like, it's like, oh, let's deep analyze this as if, you know, you're watching, you know, it's like There Will Be Blood or something. It's
Right.
like, oh, the symbolism of this and that. It's just, you sort of watch it and you're just sort of like, anything, I think what it is, you can always be better. You know, it's just like a lot of this is just, there's so much. It's like, you just write everything and it's like, well, just shoot it all.
I think probably that's a large part of it. I will have to say, though, that this particular one did have a sort of structure to it. The bottle guy notwithstanding.
Yeah.
Because that was just...
I don't know what he did.
No idea. But woman, status quo, she's moving to a new place. She gets possessed, sort of inciting incident, gets possessed, kills her kids. Then it's changed. She goes to prison. She's in prison now. Start the second act. You know, she's plunged into this, you know, underworld of some sort of secret prison or whatever. But halfway through that, they sort of devise a way to, even though she already has these powers, to sort of turn the tables on Kirkendall and James, and then you know, find a way to sort of break free. And then when they break free, that starts the third act of them trying to escape. And they have to find a way to do that with Ormond on their ass. There's a sort of twist where the zombie comes in, who is the former prisoner, kills Kirkendall, and so allows them to, and they have to kill the zombie, and then it allows them to escape. And at the end, you know, we have that sort of twist where, you know, everything seems fine. She's, you know, birthing a baby, but then now it's a demon.
Yeah.
And then we go out. So I think that's intrinsically I got that.
Okay.
But along the way, you know, it's just certain things where you just look and you go. I mean, you and I can't really look at mainstream movies without going, okay, that's it. Oh, the car goes by and you see the camera crew. We know all the secrets.
Yeah.
But to look at something like this, it's just like,
yeah.
Okay, it's obviously, you know, there's a acting book, you know, in the pastors.
Yeah.
You know, probably Mark's office is being used for this lab.
Yeah.
You know, they're looking under a microscope, and so they extracted blood from Kelly or one of the girls, and then they had the little plate that they look at from under the microscope, but instead of blood, it's powder, and I'm just like, it's like a yellow powder. I'm like, what is that? Like, what? Did you get that?
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
and you know, and then they try to do, which is fun. They try to do the CSI sort of like, let's go in through the like the detail of what's inside the body, and it's just like it's like something you get off of YouTube or something.
They probably did.
Yeah, and it's those things that you sort of have to like. Look, you know what you're watching.
Yeah,
but the thing with the shark sort of made me angry because it's like you kind of went through the motions of having a shark. Why not use the shark more?
Yeah.
It has no bearing on the story at all.
Right.
And I don't know why I would want that, but you know, why throw the shark in? And I guess with these movies, I'd want it in as opposed to why did you have that at all? Take it out, because it's like, if you're gonna do it, you know, it's gonna be, what is that movie? Shark Exorcist. It's just like get into that, you know, get into more of the campy stuff, you know. Yes, we have Kirkendall, we have James, and those are staples.
Yeah.
In The Office, but you still kind of want a little campy, a little monster, a little shark, a little, you know, the zombies. Yeah, they're campy and obviously masked, but you still, that's what you look for.
Yeah,
that's what you look for.
I guess maybe that's why there's the charm. It is that even though I said, you know, I wrote down my notes, like too much happens, maybe that's a good thing. It's like there are zombies, there's a possessed shark, possessed bear, you know, some sort of prison, some sort of experiments, you know. It's just there. I think you just can't not get you're not getting bogged down with story.
Yeah.
You're just sort of like here.
And the story that I laid out is, it's a, you know, it's a run-of-the-mill story. Really.
Yeah.
But,
you know, those old zombie possessed fight island stories that we all grew up on.
We all, you know, I mean, I can't tell you, you know, story of my family is this movie. It's just, it hit home.
Yeah. It's like my childhood all over again.
Exactly. It's so charming.
Yeah.
The actual bear kill wasn't bad.
No.
That's the thing. It was like, okay.
When things are done really well, you're like, oh my God. And then you see something else and then it makes you more angry.
Yeah.
You see it and you're just like, duh.
I'm like, you did. Like, I could tell you had to put some time into that.
Yeah.
But then, you know, you tell a person, oh, the PA throwing a mask.
Yeah.
And you'll be a zombie today or something.
Okay, make sure you take off those labels on the alcohol because we don't own Johnny Walker. Well, they just look blank. Hold on.
Yeah.
Amityville rum.
It's like, why is it Amityville rum?
And rum and bourbon. It's like, one, I don't think you mix those two because that's just terrible.
Yeah, because he's just like, and it's obviously the same liquid.
Yeah.
You know, it's not liquor, but it's just, he's drinking out of a water glass.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess he's far gone.
But when you're an alcoholic, it's a water glass.
But the wife, what was her?
I don't know. Like his whole storyline. Just I didn't even understand what he was trying to do at the magazine. That was a story that might have had more beats to it, but then just didn't pay off. Like he didn't come in at the end. He didn't blow up anything. He wasn't the hero. He just was fluff for something to cut away to.
He was trying to get answers, never got them. Drink the local hooch, and that's it. That's all he did.
That should just sum up the movie. He drinks some local hooch. That's Amityville Island.
Yeah. Forget all the other stuff. Guy drinks local hooch.
Yeah. But I mean, once again, you know what you're in for with these movies, and I'll always say watch them. I mean, if you like films and you just want to watch something, watch it. Don't go into it thinking, you know, like you're going to see like the best movie ever. You're going in to watch an hour of someone making a film. That's it. Like these are people that are in the Hollywood of the East, as you called it, and they're just making movies. These are friends making movies, and I think there's something charming about it.
Oh,
and I think that's why it's just that level of things that make you mad and things that make you happy, that why you can watch it. It's not one where it's just so bad from like script to shooting to acting, where you're just like, you guys just need to rethink everything. Because he has all the pieces. All the pieces are there. Just sometimes you just need to like fine tune and reorganize them a little bit.
Right, and I think he can really tell he was having fun with it. The music, the
like dubstep soundtrack in some places.
It's some of it's perfection.
Yeah.
It's really great. But he sort of is paying an homage to some of the movies, you know, he likes in his way.
Yeah.
And so and the actors are having fun with it too.
Yeah.
So it's, you know, like you said, at the end of the day, if it's like you have a collection of friends who, you know, you all have the discipline to just make some movies and get them out, and you know, I'm sure they all have day jobs and do other things, and it's just like something we do on the side, you know.
Yeah, I mean, they're in the Hollywood of the East, and we're actually in Hollywood watching their movies.
That's the thing, you know. At the end of the day,
that's really all it is.
They are making movies, and they are getting distributed.
I can't tell you how many people I talk to in Hollywood that are making movies, but I've never seen any of their movies because they're not anything.
Right.
These people are making movies, and we're watching them. They're available. There's always an outlet. So, but overall, I think we enjoyed it. It's fun.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is actually one of the better ones that I've seen.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
I do, just because of that structure that is not always there.
Right.
Was at least there. There were a lot of things along the way where I'm just like, I had no idea what's happening. So we laugh, and I sort of think about us if we were watching this in the office, like what we would, you know, pause on, or just, you know.
How many times, like, wait, what?
Yeah, exactly. So, it's, you know, Zach shaking his head.
The resident writer in the office just going, I can't believe I can't sell my stuff. And it's just like, well, you're overthinking it. That's the problem, is you're very talented, and that's the issue.
And we're watching yet another one of these. Yeah, exactly.
Who's up for one more? How many are there? Oh, there's a lot.
Right.
Wait till we get to the Christmas ones. Because there's nothing but Christmas ones.
Genre.
But, so that was really fun. We're going to mix some of these in with other movies we are going to be watching. We're going to try to track down things we haven't seen, 80s movies that were out when Goonies came out. What was else at the theater? Things that we might have missed because we were too young at the time. You know, these will be the fun ones we do, because these will be the ones that keep everything grounded. Like the people that think they're up here, we'll just go down and watch something else. Hey, Wild Eye Releasing, what do you got? Let's have some fun.
Absolutely. And they have a lot.
Oh, and they have a lot, and we'll watch all of them.
Big catalog.
But, so thank you for joining us on Post Apocalyptic, the show.
The show.
Where we'll bring you fun movies, things that you'll want to watch regardless of how we sell them to you. Something like that.
Yes.
All right, well, thank you for joining us. I am Robert.
I'm John.
Take it easy. And since you've joined us, don't forget to hit the like button, the subscribe button, the notification bell, follow.
And comment.
Comment, pitch a movie, we'll watch it. If it's Wild Eye, all the links and everything will be in the description of the video. Do all those things, and we'll see you next time.